Welcome to ESI Africa Insights. For this episode, I am speaking with Billy Onyango, who is the County Operations and Maintenance Engineer at Kenya Power. We'll be talking a bit about what's happening in Kenya. Welcome, Billy.
Thank you, Nicolette.
So let's start off with, in terms of the experience that Kenya Power has had with public-private partnerships, PPPs, and whether these have exceeded the expectation.
Yeah, obviously Kenya Power has had a long history with PPPs, and it obviously started from generation when we were going to experience a shortage due to drought, and the government invited the private sector to be able to actually invest in generation, and we've had independent power producers for a while now in a model that has worked very well. We've obviously been able to refine it over the years in terms of pricing and contractual agreements to be able to just make sure that the cost of energy stays low. There's obviously been, that's in the generation side. In transmission, there's obviously been innovations and attempts at coming up with agreements. We have not, as a country, been able to actually execute a transmission one yet. Of course, there are discussions going on to be able to price them properly. But where I am seeing innovation coming in PPPs is now in the last mile connectivity in energy access, where in the past it's been done through multilaterals and government funding. But now from analysis and data analytics, we've been able to see that expansion of the grid beyond 10 kilometers has now been left for the private sector through mini grids and distributed generation. And I think this is an interesting area, because now the private sector has had a niche carved out specifically for them to invest in.
Right, and that would then lead to a very high electrification rate in Kenya.
Yes, very high, and then also very sustainable, because then they have been stress tested and the economic models looked at and analyzed, even the demographics of the people being served through analytics and spatial data analysis. So I think this is one way to encourage private investment by just giving them confidence from analysis and data.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then my next question is around how Kenya Power is leveraging emerging technologies to improve grid reliability and reduce the downtime for customers. So that's around any power outages or even any type of load shedding.
Yeah. Obviously at the generation side, that's sort of stable, and transmission side, the bottlenecks are well known and the projects are underway. In distribution is where there's a lot of moving parts. This is where you need to be able to sort of tie down your operations to be able to have quick response, reduce downtime. And in this area, there has been an investment in an automated distribution management system, especially in the big load centers in the capitals, where the system and the switch gear that form part of that system quickly isolate the section with the fault so that the rest of the areas remain connected. This is one of the ways in which the utility is dealing with quick response in that area. But also another innovation is in geographical information systems, where you map our existing infrastructure and overlay it with other relevant data. For example, demographics, topography, population, density, and whatnot, to be able to now have these data sets that you can use to give you meaningful direction and insights to how to approach your preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance.
Right. You mentioned there are a lot of moving parts, and this means that the workforce within any utility needs to be upskilled in terms of new technologies or new systems or new solutions that are being put in place. But what is the way to address skills development, and specifically in underserved areas?
I think this is something that should be continuous and should be something that any utility or organization monitors on a day-to-day basis. As you try and solve your problems and look at new solutions, these new solutions have to come with a training program and an upskilling program, where so that the operators and the people who will actually be taking advantage of this new technology are part of the the skill set that you're upskilling them to be able to actually deliver these projects. So the execution of any project, if it incorporates training that is very structured, then we find that the skill set grows organically with the technology.
That's the perfect solution for a utility.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Billy, for sharing that with us.
Thank you, Nicolette.
And thank you for watching. Tune in for the next Industry Insights and have a powerful day.